Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling something really fundamental to all of you listening, your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
The highs of joy, the lows of sadness, anger, confusion,
Mm-hmm.
they're always there. And actually learning how to handle them, that's a skill everyone needs.
It really is. And it's interesting, isn't it, how many people find that, well, genuinely challenging.
Yeah,
You often see people going one of two ways, either, trying to bottle everything up, ignore it,
right, just push it down.
or they get completely overwhelmed when those big feelings hit.
Exactly. And the thing is, these unprocessed emotions, they don't just, vanish. They stick around.
Mm-hmm.
They could really impact your mental health and sometimes even show up physically.
Absolutely.
So our mission today in this deep dive is to explore why dealing with emotions is so hard sometimes, look at common hurdles, and, importantly, give you some practical ways to navigate your feelings healthily.
Sounds good.
So maybe let's start there. Why is it often so challenging?
Well, one big piece is we're often just not taught how to do it.
Right.
Think about growing up.
Yeah.
Did anyone actually sit you down and explain how to handle feeling, I don't know, disappointed or anxious? Usually the message we get, even if it's unsaid, is kind of push it away.
Oh, definitely. I remember being told things like, stop crying or toughen up.
Exactly.
And those little comments, they build up, don't they? They create the sense that some emotions, especially the negative ones, are just wrong or something to hide.
That's it, precisely. And then there's the sheer intensity sometimes.
Hmm.
When you're feeling really intense anger or
Yeah.
deep grief, it feels huge, overwhelming.
Yeah.
And in that moment, figuring out how to even start processing it feels impossible.
It's like you're just trying to stay afloat, right?
Yeah.
Not analyze the wave crashing over you.
Right. And add to that the societal pressure.
Ah, yeah, the positivity thing.
Exactly. This sort of constant expectation to be happy, or at least look happy,
Mm-hmm.
it makes you feel guilty if you're not feeling upbeat all the time, like you're doing something wrong.
Which is so counterproductive. Because as we're saying, all emotions are actually valid. They're signals, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Important information. Ignoring them.
Mm. Well, it's like ignoring a warning light on your car dashboard.
Eventually, something's going to give.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the consequences, right? What happens when we don't process this stuff? What did the sources say stands out there?
Well, it's pretty clear they don't just disappear. They sort of build up.
Accumulate, yeah.
And then they tend to come out sideways, like those sudden anger outbursts.
Oh, yeah. Classic example.
Often that's just small frustrations that got ignored, piling up until bang.
That's a really common one. And it's not just anger. It can fuel anxiety, make feelings of depression worse,
Right?
and even cause physical symptoms. You mentioned headaches, fatigue, digestive issues sometimes crop up too.
Yeah.
It's all linked back to that emotional stress that hasn't been dealt with.
Like your body is trying to get your attention, isn't it?
And the impact on relationships is huge too. If you're not tuned into your own feelings, how can you communicate clearly or handle disagreements well?
You can't, really, or it's much harder. You might end up projecting your own unprocessed stuff onto others without even realizing it.
And leading to misunderstandings.
Yeah, and there's also this thing, the sources mention emotional numbness.
Oh, okay. What's that about?
Well, the idea is if you consistently try to shut down the difficult negative emotions,
Uh-huh.
you can unintentionally end up dulling the positive ones too.
Wow.
Yeah.
So trying to avoid sadness actually makes it harder to feel joy?
Kind of. Life can start to feel a bit flat, less vibrant, like the volume's turned down on everything.
That sounds pretty bleak.
It can be. But look, the good news is there are ways through this. There are practical things you can do.
Okay, let's get into that. What's the first step if
Yeah.
someone's feeling overwhelmed and wants to start processing things better?
Okay, so a really crucial first step, and the sources really highlight this, is simply name the emotion.
Just identify it.
Yeah. Just pause for a second. What is this feeling? Is it frustration, sadness, fear? Just putting a label on it can make it feel less chaotic, more manageable.
That makes sense. It gives it some shape.
Exactly. It activates the thinking part of your brain, which helps calm down the emotional part. So, name it. What next?
Okay, next step. Allow yourself to actually feel it.
Sounds simple, but it's often the hardest part.
Totally. Our instinct is often to push it away, distract ourselves, judge ourselves for feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, try to just let it be there.
Yeah.
Give yourself permission. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to be angry. It's human.
That acceptance piece is huge. Fighting an emotion often just makes it stronger, right?
Yeah.
So once you've named it and you've kind of allowed it to be there,
Right.
then the sources suggest getting curious.
Right. Playing detective a bit. Ask yourself,
Mm.
okay, why might I be feeling this way?
What's the trigger?
Yeah. Sometimes is it obvious you had an argument, something didn't go to plan, but other times it might be deeper. Maybe it connects to something from the past you haven't quite dealt with.
That self-reflection is key. Understanding your own patterns. Okay,
Uh-uh.
so you've identified it, felt it, explored the root. Then what?
Then find a healthy way to express it. Let it out somehow.
Okay, like how?
Well, it depends on you and the emotion, right?
Yeah.
Talking to someone you trust is a big one.
Definitely.
Or journaling, getting it down on paper. Some people find creative outlets helpful, like painting, music.
Physical activity too, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need to move that energy.
Yes, absolutely. The point is to externalize it constructively. Find a release that doesn't hurt you or anyone else.
Makes sense. And sometimes understanding the emotion points towards needing to take action, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like if the feeling is guilt or regret,
Mm-hmm.
processing it might show you that you need to apologize or maybe change a behavior. The feeling is signaling something needs to shift.
So processing is the first step, but action might be needed to really move on.
Exactly. Now, underpinning all of this, there's something really important. Self-compassion. How crucial is that in this whole process?
Oh, it's absolutely fundamental, honestly. Because when we're dealing with difficult emotions, it's so easy to start beating ourselves up.
Yeah, that inner critic gets loud.
Right. You feel angry, and then you feel guilty about feeling angry. Or you feel sad and ashamed for being vulnerable. Self-compassion is about treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you'd offer a friend in that situation. No judgment, just understanding.
That's such a powerful way to frame it.
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't tell a friend to just get over it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we need to extend that same grace to ourselves. Experiencing a whole range of emotions doesn't mean you're weak or flawed. It just means you're human.
It's part of the deal.
It is. And self-compassion also brings patience. This isn't always quick processing emotions.
No, definitely not.
There can be setbacks.
Yeah.
Being kind to yourself makes that journey feel less like a battle. Okay, so when does someone need to think about getting outside help with this stuff?
That's a really important question.
Yeah.
The sources point to a few signs. Like if you feel consistently stuck with an emotion,
Just can't seem to shift it.
yeah, or if the feelings just feel overwhelmingly intense all the time,
Yeah.
or if something difficult has been dragging on for a really long time without getting better.
Okay.
In those cases, talking to someone, trusted friends, family, or a therapist or counselor can make a real difference. Get an outside perspective.
That outside view can be so helpful when you're kind of lost in it yourself. And another key sign the sources mention is when it starts interfering with daily life, right?
Absolutely. If it's impacting your work, your relationships, your physical health, that's a clear signal that getting some professional support could be really beneficial.
And it's crucial to remember there's no shame in that.
None at all. It's actually a sign of strength, of
Mhm.
taking care of yourself. Just knowing you're not alone could be huge.
Definitely. So we've talked about steps, but what about the things that get in the way? Common challenges people face when they try to process emotions.
Right. Obstacles. Well, one big one is denial.
Just pretending it's not happening.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Or maybe acknowledging it intellectually, but not really letting yourself feel it because it's uncomfortable or it doesn't fit with how you think you should feel.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's a temporary shield, but it stops the real processing. What else?
Overthinking is another one. Getting stuck in your head about the emotion instead of actually feeling it.
Rumination, just going over and over it.
Exactly. Analyzing it endlessly, asking why, but not actually letting the feeling itself move through you. It can actually make things worse.
If you get stuck spinning your wheels.
Totally. And the sources also talk about fear, don't they?
Yes, the fear of being overwhelmed.
Right. That if you really let yourself feel that deep sadness or that intense anger, it'll just swallow you whole.
Oh, maybe it'll never end.
It's a very real fear for many people.
But the sources offer a good perspective on this, comparing emotions to waves.
They rise, peak, and then fall. Exactly. Yeah, and often, if you actually allow yourself to ride the wave, to feel it fully, it passes more quickly than if you constantly fight against it.
That resistance just prolongs it, doesn't it? And can even make it feel bigger over time.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit. Thinking longer term. What are some habits or strategies people can build into their lives for better emotional health overall?
Well, Building in some kind of regular self-reflection seems key.
Like journaling.
Yeah, journaling's great.
Yeah.
Or meditation, mindfulness, even just taking a few quiet minutes each day to check in. How am I actually feeling right now?
Staying connected to your inner world.
Exactly. It's proactive.
Yeah.
And that leads to another idea, emotional hygiene.
Emotional hygiene. Like physical hygiene.
Kinda, yeah. Just like we brush our teeth to prevent problems, we should proactively tend to our emotional well-being. Address little niggles before they become big issues. Don't just let things fester.
I like that analogy. That makes a lot of sense. And surrounding yourself with supportive people has got to be on the list too.
Oh, absolutely crucial. Having a good support system, friends, family, community, people you can actually talk to honestly when things are tough. That's invaluable.
It really is. Knowing you don't have to carry it all alone.
And finally, maybe just continuing to learn about emotions.
Understand how they work.
Yeah. Why do we feel certain things? What purpose do they serve? The more you understand the mechanics, the less intimidating they can feel, and the better equipped you are to handle them.
This has been really insightful. I think the main takeaway for everyone listening has to be that your emotions, all of them are normal. They're valid.
Absolutely.
And learning to work with them, to process them, that's a sign of strength,
Yeah.
not weakness.
Couldn't agree more. And be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself on this journey. It's ongoing.
It really is. And remember, reach out for support if you need it. There's help available.
Definitely.
You've got this. Keep exploring, keep learning, and navigate those feelings with this understanding.